Good morning. This is my 8th lecture in this series, and today I would be discussing about some elementary functions: exponential, sinusoidal, ramp and signum functions, and I will talk a bit about the even and odd functions also. So this is the third function in the series. In the previous lecture I have discussed about unit step function and unit impulse function. Now I am going to discuss about the exponential function of the form e to the power of st, e to the power of st. So what is s here? S is sigma plus j omega. Sigma plus j omega means it is a complex quantity. S is a complex quantity. Okay. Now e to the power of s, e to the power of st equal to e to the power of sigma plus j omega multiplied by t. And if I separate this, e to the power of alpha t multiplied by e to the power of j omega t. Okay, there are two functions, two exponential functions. One is e to the power of sigma t, a real function, and here a complex function, e to the power of j omega t. Okay. Now, if we expand this using Euler's formula, I get e to the power of sigma t multiplied by cos omega t plus j sin omega t. So this is what I have. Now, if I take the real part, only the real part, this is what I will get. And if I take the imaginary part, what is it? This is real part. What is imaginary part? Sin omega t multiplied by e to the power of sigma t. Okay, because I am common here. Okay, so this is what is real and this is imaginary. Okay, so basically I can call this function as complex sinusoid. This function e to the power of s of t is called complex sinusoid because it consists of two trigonometric sinusoids, cos of omega, sin of omega, both together. One is real part, one is cos is forming the real part, sin is forming the imaginary part. That's why there are two sinusoids, trigonometric sinusoids. Two trigonometric sinusoids to form a complex number. So this is called, that's why it is called complex sinusoid. Okay. So this is nothing but complex sinusoid, that is e to the power of sigma plus e to the power of sigma plus j omega t. So this is nothing but complex sinusoid. Okay. It has the real part and it has the imaginary part. Now, let us take the conjugate of this one. S star is the conjugate, sigma minus j omega. Then what you will get? Substitute here and e to the power of sigma t multiplied by e to the power of minus j omega t. Okay, real part is same. Here this e to the power of sigma t is same function, but in this case it has become the conjugate because this is the complex function. It has changed its sign. Now after substitution of the Euler's formula, I will get this. Okay. Again here I have the real part and imaginary part. Now what I am going to do is call this as equation 1, call this as equation 2, add these two, that is e to the power of s of t, e to the power of st plus e to the power of s star t, add and divide it by 2. If I take divide by 2, what is happening? I mean, after adding these two imaginary terms will get cancelled. There are two terms adding here. That's why if I divide by 2, then I will get this e to the power of sigma t cos omega t. Okay. If I study the properties of this real function, now it is a real function. Okay. It is no more a complex function. It is a real function. And this real function, if we understand, similarly, we can understand e to the power of sigma t sine omega t also. Okay. It is only the phase shift of 90 degrees. Otherwise, everything is same. So this is the real function. Let us take this real function now. Let us take this real function and study its properties. First case, s equal to 0. What is our function actually? E to the power of st. S equal to 0. So e to the power of 0 equal to unity 1. So what is this function here? This will become a constant whose amplitude is 1. So if I multiply this by some constant k, then the amplitude of this will become k. So it is basically a DC waveform. This is a constant waveform, DC waveform or DC signal. Basically, when s equal to 0, it is a DC waveform. Next, omega equal to 0. Here, s equal to sigma plus j0. Sigma plus j0. So s equal to sigma. That's all. Now what you will get? What is our function? What is our function? E to the power of sigma t cos omega t. This is what we wanted to. Previously, this is what we have taken. Okay. Now, what I am doing? I am making omega equal to 0 in this. When I make omega equal to 0, e to sigma is there. It is non-zero. E to the power of sigma t cos 0. Cos 0 means equal to unity. This is. So, e to the power of sigma t. Okay. So, it is an exponential function now. There is no cos or sine. Without cos and sine, it is a exponential function. So, what is its nature? It depends on the sigma value. If sigma equal to sigma is less than 0, means negative, less than 0, means negative. So, if sigma is less than 0 means I can put a sign for this. I can call this as sigma minus sigma. I can put minus sigma. Some value will be there here. Okay. So, that let us say it is sigma value, sigma, but less than 0. So, it is minus e to the power of, basically, this is nothing but e to the power of minus sigma t. Means it is a exponentially decaying function. So it is something like this. It will be decaying like this. Okay. So this is e to the power of minus sigma t. And this is called monotonic exponential. It is called monotonic exponential. If sigma equal to greater than 0, I have plus sigma. That means my function is e to the power of plus sigma t. In that case, how it looks? It will look like this. It is an increasing exponential, rising exponential, basically. Okay. Now, rising exponential. And let us say sigma equal to 0. If I take sigma equal to 0, automatically e to the power of 0 means 1. Then it is nothing but DC. Whatever previously we have studied, that is a constant value, DC value. So the monotonic exponential becomes constant if I substitute sigma equal to 0. Okay. So that is what we have. Now let us move to the third case. What is third case? Sigma equal to 0. Sigma equal to 0, but omega is not equal to 0. Okay. Omega is not equal to 0. So I have some value s equal to, I should say that What is S here? S equal to sigma plus j omega. J plus or minus, because minus or plus, both you can take. Doesn't matter. So sigma is 0. 0 plus or minus j omega. So it is nothing but plus or minus j omega. That means it is only purely imaginary. When sigma equal to 0, you have a purely imaginary function, that is j omega. Okay, because e to the power of st, if I take e to the power of plus or minus j omega t, this is what you have to. Okay, so e to the power of plus or minus j omega t. Okay, e to the power of st means e to the power of plus or minus j omega t. So this is when sigma equal to 0. So what was our function? Because this is the complex function. Our starting point was e to the power of sigma t cos omega t. This is what? Okay, this is the function. Let us start with this. This s of t, this is complex form. From this form, we have arrived at a real function like this. Okay, and here, when sigma equal to 0, what will happen? E to the power of 0, 1 cos omega t. So this is nothing but cos omega t. So when sigma equal to 0, I have a real function cos omega t. So that is nothing but this cos omega t. Okay, what is this omega? Omega is nothing but 2 pi f. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f. What is f? F is nothing but 1 by t. So 2 pi f is nothing but 1 by t equal to omega. What is t? T is the 1 cycle period. Let us take from this peak to this peak. So this is nothing but 1 cycle period of the sine wave. Okay, t is the 1 cycle period of the sine wave. 1 by t is f equal to 1 by t. 1 by t h. Okay, 1 by 2 h. Then 2 pi into 1 by t equal to omega. Okay, that is how the time period, frequency, and what is f? F is nothing but linear frequency. Omega is nothing but angular frequency. Okay, that is how they are related. So when sigma equal to 0, I am getting a sinusoid. The sinusoid means it can be cos or sine. Both are called sinusoids. Okay, or if you want to very particular about this, you can also call it as cosinusoid. If you want to call it as cosinusoid, you can call, or you can also call it as sinusoid, is phase shifted by 90 degrees. Okay, so that is what you have. Now, let us take the general function full. In this case, sigma is not equal to 0 and omega is also not equal to 0. Both are existing. That means both terms are there. E to the power of sigma t is there and cos omega t is there. Both there. I am multiplying two functions. What is that function? First function. Let us take sigma equal to minus sigma. Let us take minus sigma. It is less than 0. So e to the power of minus sigma t equal to, it will be like this. Decaying function. Okay. Now what is cos function? Cos means it is a infinite length sine wave like this. Cosine wave like this. Okay. Now I have to multiply these two. When I multiply these two, and I am erasing this due to lack of space. When I multiply these two, what I will get? So this is scaling factor. This is the envelope of this one. Okay. We have studied this under the operations on the dependent variable. So when I multiply these two, so it will be something like this. It will be decaying like this. Both sides you will get decay. So that is what is shown here. Okay. It is a multiplication of monotonic. It is a multiplication of monotonic exponential multiplied by a cosine side, or in this case cosine side. So when you multiply, you will get this kind of shape. This can be called as damped sinusoid. I can also call this as damped sinusoid, because the amplitude of the sine wave or cos wave is not constant. It is coming down slowly at some point, at longer interval. Somewhere it will become zero. Okay, so asymptotically it is approaching zero. That's why it is called damped sinusoid. The sinusoid is damped. It is reduced in the amplitude. So that is what is called. Now, let us take same thing, but sigma is greater than or equal to 0. Here also same thing. The monotonic exponential is raising exponential. It is raising. When I multiply it with a constant amplitude sinusoid, I will get a raising sinusoid. Okay, that means I can call this as raising sinusoid. That was damping sinusoid. This is raising sinusoid, or you can put whatever other names, which you represent for the raising sinusoid. Okay, so raising or enhancing, whatever you can call. Okay, so this is what is the fourth signal. Now, so up to these four, what were these four signals? They are not independent. Ultimately, they are the functions. They are the functions, sub-functions of this major function. Okay, this is the major class, exponential function, e to the power of st, where s is complex. Now, by giving different values to s, I got different values. There are four combinations I have seen. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 5 combinations I have seen. These are all 5 combinations. Now, with this, I have completed the exponential function. All these come under the exponential functions. What was the exponential function? Was the third in series. What was the first one? The first elementary function, unit step function. Afterwards, unit impulse function. The third one is exponential function. Okay, so 3 functions we have studied so far. Fourth one is signum function or sine function. So this is used to find the sine of to extract the sine of a given number. It may be a real number, or it may, in general, it is a real number, or it can be a integer also, anything. So here, what it means is, let us call this as sine. Sine of plus 9 equal to 1. Let us say, call it as 1. I can say also put it as positive. Positive, I can also call, let us substitute, represent the positive value by 1. Now, sine of minus 9 is nothing but minus. Means minus 1. I can say minus 1. So, plus 1 to represent the positive value, positive sign, and minus 1 to represent the negative sign. Okay, so that is what the sine function. So basically it extracts. This is for single value. In the same way, I can say sine of x of t. I can also write like this. Okay, sine of x of t, sine of minus x of t. So like that I can write. Okay, these are scalar values. This is the function basically. So same thing is applicable. So here it is defined, the signum function is defined, sine function is defined as plus 1 if t is greater than or equal to 0. What is t? T is nothing but independent variable. Okay, so if I take, for example, if I take some function like this, x of t, what is the signum function for this? Up to this portion, the signum function is plus 1. Okay, this is what? Signum function of this is plus 1. And what about this one? This is the negative, and this is So this is negative, and for this I will get the minus 1. So basically what I am doing is I am extracting the sign of this function like this. Okay, so this is plus 1, this is minus 1. I can say that for a given function, signum function generates equivalent bipolar rectangular waveform basically. Okay, so this is whatever is there. It is not worried about the actual amplitude of the signal, either positive or negative. It is worried about only the sign. It is plus sign means plus 1, minus sign means minus 1. So that is what is, this is what sign of x of t means. Okay, so plus 1, somewhere plus 1, somewhere minus 1. So that is what is the and it is compactly represented as SGN of t. SGN of t. T is independent variable basically. Okay, so that is what is signum function. Now let us move to the last function which I am discussing in this lecture. That is nothing but ramp function. Ramp function means linearly increasing function or linearly decreasing function. So it is basically a straight line, infinite straight line with given slope. If I take straight, if I want to represent at this point and at this every point, at every point it has the same slope. So what is that slope? That slope is nothing but if this is theta, tan theta is the slope. Theta is fixed, tan theta is also constant, fixed. So slope is fixed. So this is what you have. Let us consider here in this case theta equal to 45 degrees or pi by 4 radians. So the unit slope, that's what it is called, slope equal to tan theta, that is nothing but unity. So this is what okay, and it need not be unity, it can be like this also, and it can be very flat like this also. All are called ramps. Okay, this is ramp 1, ramp 2, ramp 3. So ramp function is specified by its slope. Okay, so here for example if I take how the ramp function is represented is denoted by r of t. Okay, r of t equal to t in this case because it is 45 degrees. Otherwise I should put mt, m into t. R of t equal to m into t. M is greater than 1, greater than or lesser than, it can be anything. So it is not equal to 1. M is not equal to 1. If m equal to 1, it is automatically t, you will get t here. Okay, now in general I am writing here m of t, and this is starting at t equal to 0. Okay, so t equal to 0 means I have to multiply this instead of representing this time range, instead of using this time range, I can avoid this time range by multiplying this straight line by unit step function, which we have studied earlier. Okay, so this is nothing but m into t multiplied by unit step function. When m equal to 1 means unit slope. So that is what is the discrete version for this? Discrete version will be, that means you know the discrete version means discrete time sample version. And you are going to, what is discrete function? If I take a ramp function like this, n equal to 0 here, n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one value, second value, third, fourth, fifth, like this. Okay, it is a function like this. These are all samples. So these are the samples of the, this will continue like this. Up to infinite it will continue. So this is a discrete ramp. This is discrete time ramp. This is continuous ramp. So if I take discrete ramp, I will get, instead of t, there is n here. Okay, I mean you can have any value, or k into n I can put here, instead of m, k into n. K can be 2 or 3, something like that. N is, it is proportional to the time. Okay, basically it is proportional to the time. Here also r of t is a proportional to the time. Okay, so this is discrete version, this is continuous time version. And how I will get this ramp? Okay, let us take let us take one pulse. I am writing it somewhere here. Let us take a pulse like this. Instead of pulse, I will take step function. So take this step function. Let us say 1 or some constant k, and you integrate this. Integration of k dt is nothing but kt. K is nothing but slope here. So when I integrate, this is 0 to plus infinite, whereas this is the unit step function, or step function, not unit step function, because its amplitude is k. Its amplitude is k. So it is the step function. I should not say unit step function. I should say just a step function whose amplitude is equal to k. Okay. So when I integrate a constant value, integration k of dt, I will get k of t. So it is nothing but a straight line I will get. So this is nothing but, the ramp is nothing but a straight line. So I can say that the integral of step function is ramp. The integral of step function is ramp. What is the differentiation of step function? What is differentiation of step function? See, let us take some step function here, something like this. Okay, differentiate this dk by dt. It is a constant 0. Okay, so when you differentiate, the constant will become 0. So the differentiation of step function is 0, but at the transition, actually how you will get? You will get like this. You will get like this. So a delta function at t equal to 0. So the differentiation of step function is a delta function. The integration of step function is ramp function. Okay, that is what. This step function or the ramp function, basically it is used as a test signal for many systems. Okay, it is used famous for as a test signal. Okay, now let us talk about two types of functions. I mean, so far we have studied 5 different signals or functions. Now we have an important classification here, that is even and odd functions. What is this even and odd functions? A function fe is said to be an even function of t if fe of t equal to fe of minus t. What it means is, this is even function, because put a mirror here. If I put a mirror here, whose shining surface is this side, when you put some object like this, you will get an image like this. Okay, so a function is called even function if I can put at some point, at some reference point, here it is y-axis, at some reference point, if I can put a mirror, one part of the signal generates, it appears as the image, as in the inside the mirror. So actual signal combined with its image, both put together, I call it as an even function. Okay, that is what. And what is odd function? So odd function means put the mirror, take the image, and put another mirror here, up to this one. Put another mirror. What happens here? This one, it will appear as something like this. Is the mirror image again. This is the mirror image. I mean, this is the mirror image of this part. After taking the lateral image, take the up-down image. This is lateral inversion. Mirror means lateral inversion. Afterwards, I am taking another mirror which is producing the up-down inversion. This is up-down inversion. This is lateral inversion. So first do the lateral inversion, then do the up-down inversion. then you will get the part. So now this up-down inverted segment and original signal both together, I call it as an odd function. So what is odd function? The function f naught of t is said to be an odd function of t if f naught of t equal to minus of f naught of t. Okay. See, f naught of t means time inversion. If I put minus sign before that, it is up-down inversion. That is around x-axis. This is, around t-axis. Okay. So that is what. What are the properties? If I multiply even function with odd function, it will become odd. Odd function multiplied by odd function, I will get even function. Then even function multiplied by even function is even function. Okay. So how it is looking like? It is looking something like your exclusive OR gate. What is the truth table for this? If I have 0, 0, I have 0. I have 0, 1. I have 1. I have 1, 0. I have 1. I have 1, 1 also. It is 0. Okay. 1, 1 means even, even. 1, 1 means even, even. 0, 0 means odd. Okay. Now, in fact, here it is even function into odd function. I can also write here as odd function into even function. Again, it is odd function. Okay. Even into odd is odd. Odd into even is odd. So there are 4 combinations here. Same thing like this. 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So it is something similar to, that is how you have to remember these things. So it is similar to the truth table of an exclusive OR gate. Okay. Now let us find the area. What about the area? So let us take something like this. Even function, which has on both sides of the vertical axis. Now this and this area both are same. Correct? This and this both area are same. If I take minus infinite to plus infinite here, this is the area I want. Instead of that one, I can take between 0 and infinite. Between 0 and infinite I can take, and I can multiply this by 2 to incorporate this area. Okay. So I am doubling the area, taking only one side because it is an even function. I need not take both. So that is so minus a. If here it is minus a to plus a. If it is minus a to plus a, it is twice the area of half part. So that is what is here. Integration between 0 to a, fe of t. Okay. So if it is symmetric about vertical axis, the area will be double basically. Now, if it is odd symmetry, what will happen? If it is odd symmetry, see here, odd symmetry. It is this side we have one thing and this side I have this. So this area and this area. So this is positive area, this is negative area. When you add together, you will get exactly 0. That means if it is a symmetric function, area under the curve is twice that of the half part. Okay. If it is an odd function, the area is 0 because positive side area is cancelling with the negative side area. Now, let us find the even and odd components of a signal. I want to find the even and odd components of a signal. So, given a signal, real signal, f of t, what I have to do? F of t can be obtained. See, given any arbitrary signal, given signal, I can represent that as f of t equal to f of even function, f of its even function, and its odd function. Okay, I can find even function for this, and I can find odd function for this for the given f of t. For a given f of t, I can find even function, I can find odd function. And if I add both even and odd, again I will get back the original function. Okay. So how to get the even function fe? Fe is nothing but, this is fe. Fe is nothing but half of f of t, half of f of t plus f of minus t. Okay. So what it means, take the original function, take the mirror image, add both, divide it by 2. You will get the even part. And take the original function, subtract from its mirror image, divide by 2. You will get the odd function. Now after getting this, if I add both, I will again get back the original. See, if you see here, if I add even and both, what is happening? This is odd, this is even. What is happening? So this minus this, both will get cancelled. Half of ft plus half of ft, that is nothing but full f. Full f. Okay? That is so. So now let us, as an example, let us consider a signal e to the power of minus at. What is this e to the power of minus at? It is a decaying monotonic exponential. Okay? That means this is the monotonic exponential, but it is multiplied by unit step function. What it means is, this decaying exponential function exists between 0 and plus infinite, not towards the left side. That is, no signal exists between 0 and minus infinite. Okay, so that is the meaning of this one. Now, even function I want to find the even function. How I will find? Take the original function, then take the inversion function. How I will get the time inverted function? Substitute t equal to minus t. So in this case, t e to the power of, see, this is the thing. Substitute t equal to minus t. So it will become minus of minus t plus t. This is what you have, plus t. And u of minus t here. Okay, here u of plus t, u of minus t, e to the power of minus t here. E to the power of minus of minus t. So this is what I have. Okay, e to the power of minus t, half of e to the power of minus at plus u of into u of t plus e to the power of at plus multiplied by u of minus t. So this is what even function. Similarly, take original function, subtract time inverted function, mirror image from the original function, then divide by 2. You will get the odd function. So pictorially, this is the given function. This amplitude is 1. See, amplitude is 1. Reproduce here, because 1 by 2. You have to make 1 by 2. So this is half amplitude. See here, it is half amplitude. Originally it was 1. Now it is half of e to the power of e to the power of minus at. And this side towards negative side, e to the power of plus at. Half. Okay. So this area and this area are same as this area. Okay. Now, same odd function. So mirror image, up down mirror image here. Up down inversion. You will get this one. Okay. Now this is the positive part. This is the negative part. Area under this curve equal to 0 because they both get cancelled. So this is, see here, this is represented by same thing here. But here, this is taking minus sign here. Okay. That's why it is inverted. The picture has inverted. So that is how you can find the even and odd. This is even. This is fe of t. This is even function of this function. This is odd function of this one. That means even function and odd functions, width will double. The width of the even functions and odd function will be double that of the given original function. Okay, in this case. So take another signal, another example. Find the even and odd components of e to the power of jt. E to the power of jt is a complex function. So I can represent this e to the power of jt as the summation of even part and odd part. What is even part? Even part is obtained by half of original signal plus mirror image signal. If I take these things, e to the power of jt plus e to the power of minus jt, it is nothing but cos t. Now if I subtract the mirror image from the original signal and multiply by half, I will get the minus j sin t. This is nothing but your odd signal. Okay, your even part, odd part, both I have cos plus j. Now if I add, what will happen? Cos t even part plus j sin t. This is nothing but e to the power of jt. Okay, this is what is given signal. So by adding even and odd parts, I have built the original signal. Okay, so I think with this I am going to close my session for today. Thank you so much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.